this full video as well. So you can have a recording there, my audio, and this guy. And it also records audio. So, do you guys see me in there? Yeah. I should be orange, red, and yellow?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is set up to black, cold, white, hot. Okay, so have you ever used one of these before?
No.
Okay, so if a blue spot comes across my face, we obviously have something going on.
Cold.
Right, we're looking for cold. Now I have different thermometers in here to debunk or verify what he actually sees in here. But you're literally going to hold this horizontal all night long, just like that.
Yep.
Do you see the red square?
Yes. Yeah.
So the red square means that it's recording. If it turns to a circle, let me know, and that way I have to place two videos together.
Okay.
So that way you have one nice long shot. Now your finger right now is over the camera. There you go.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. Just that's learning curve.
Yeah.
So again, I know it's heavier than a cell phone, but you're my cameraman for the rest of the night. And it also records audio, so we're gonna hear your entire commentary.
Okay. All right, remind me not to talk shit about it.
I always give that to my skeptic because they talk shit about me. It's funny as hell. And then they leave me a bad review because I call them out in their notes. I'm like, hey, thanks, David, for calling me a jerk. They only gave this guy a cell phone. So
you've got no need to worry.
I don't think so. No, it's just the four of us.
We're believers. The two of us are.
The K2 meter. So do you know how this thing actually works?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what types of electromagnetic fields it will cover?
I mean, I just know that if it's near like a plug or something like that, it's going to shoot up, or a light or whatever. But if there's nothing around and it shoots up, you can
you have a good gist.
Assume that the energy is there, that there's some energy there.
I'm going to get a little bit more scientific for you.
Okay.
So there's 3 different types of electromagnetic fields, and this is going to you. So there's no buttons. You seem a little hesitant on all of this, so I'm giving you something nice and simple.
Okay.
The first one that it's going to measure is natural. It comes from the earth. That's why it's green. It's not doing anything.
Right.
Okay. The second one is, you're right, electrical items. Cell phones, wiring, parking meters. It's going to make it go into a pulse. So, for example, I'm going to turn my phone on, and it's going to give off a pulse. Okay. Now, I can see a rhythm in there. Okay. I don't want a rhythm. I want this thing to light up like a Christmas tree and not be able to tell what the hell's going on with it. Okay, so this is our first indication that something is actually happening. Again, I'm not going to get excited if just this guy is going off, because that means something else is going to have something as well. It doesn't make any noise, it doesn't vibrate, so it's literally a watching type.
I mean, you can theoretically use that to talk to a spirit.
And we will go over that as well.
Okay.
This one?
Brilliant. Yeah.
I use it all the time.
For yes, for no.
Yeah.
Now, just because you guys are so in tune with everything, I'm going to show you a few extra devices that you probably don't see on the TV shows and how to. So I'm going to. These are going to be handy to me. They're going to stay in my bag. But these are obviously different types of thermometers. So David said, he's standing where I am, and he says, "Hey Nick, there's a blue spot on the wall." The first thing I'm going to do, we all know that this is a surface temp, right? So it's only going to measure where that red dot lands. I have no idea what the temperature is in between there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to test the wall to make sure it's the same temperature all the way across. When it is, I now know that that blue spot is between David and the wall. That camera does not see in three-dimensional. So now I use this guy. This is a psychrometer. So a psychrometer actually measures humidity. So the top number gives you the humidity, the bottom number gives you temperature, and it's all measured through the probe at the top. So I can literally move this guy between David and the wall and find where that cold spot is, and watch the temperature go up and down. So I'm either going to prove it or I'm going to debunk it very quickly between 2 different devices.
Right.
So these will be handy when we need them. And then I'm going to show you the lasers, because the lasers are... Do you have any laser grids in your kit?
I don't know, because I quickly went through it and never had a chance to use it. But I've seen laser grids used many times on television.
Oh, that's her phone, right?
She's going to turn. I don't know whose phone's dinging.
Might be mine. No, mine's off.
Do you have a pocket? Put it in Dave's pocket.
Turned it off.
Do you go by Dave or David?
It doesn't
Either
matter.
way.
Actually, my real name's David, but it's Dave, David, whatever. It's
Dave.
Yeah,
Really
Dave's
Dave.
fine.
Got
Yeah.
it. So this guy, grid pens are super cool.
And
However,
you can see.
right, that's exactly what I do. Even a better demonstration.
Oh, he vapes. We should have gone. Oh, damn it. We should have bought a puff ball.
Share your vape.
Listen, I vape through the tour. Man, I don't work for a company. This is just me out here. But you kind of see how the smoke went through it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not going to hang out in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The things I've seen out of this particular grid, it's super quick. and I usually have somebody with a digital camera. I put people set up in twos. So the person that matches up with you usually has the temperature guns. The person matched up with you normally has the EMF meter. And then I have another spirit box that goes to another couple by themselves because it doesn't record.
You and I together are like going to be like.
Well, set up for a group of 10, it's a lot different.
Tell.
The other
We're
grid
connected
that I have-
on another level.
Where'd that little bag go?
Make it quick. Make it quick. That's what I heard.
Make it quick.
Make it quick.
Yeah, it's telling me to move along.
Holy shit!
That's what it just said. Make it quick.
No way.
Hey, I swear to God.
Alright. So, this other one is a little different. So, this one actually gives us squares. And the reason for that is because when we catch something in here this way, I can then take that picture and put it in 3D software and have a full 3D view of the apparition that I caught.
Yeah.
So again, this one works a little bit different, and I usually put the lasers to the same person because that way I know where the lasers are, because these can get Nick arrested if they're pointed the wrong way.
Right.
Yeah, like in a plane.
Yeah.
Well, cars.
And then
cars
even,
too?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a night in jail and a $5,000 fine.
We don't want that.
I don't give this to kids.
Let's see what
Yeah.
this says.
I usually give this to the most non-drunk person I have.
Here.
See? Look at me flashing that thing everywhere. There we go. That's why I keep it in the bag so it doesn't flash anybody. So, I do, still on it. What did I do wrong? I'll kill the batteries. So, the wife works at Best Buy during the daytime. Like, that's her day job. But she does all my graphic design work. So, any photography you guys take, if you need me to analyze anything, I send it over to the wife, so forth and so on. I got the last group is going to send me a couple of pictures that they don't remember taking that came up very interesting that my wife's going to have to analyze.
Okay.
You have to take pictures.
I can't do it.
You can't do it all. We've got it covered, Melissa.
Okay.
All right. I use a couple of things on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do have a backup EMF in case Chantel's goes her battery drains, which can happen. If we need something in a pinch, I have one.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. So I do use two different spirit boxes on my phone. So this one gives us words randomly and then save them all to a list. Now I've already saved this list for my last group. There were 79 terms. I've already saved it so that they can have it in the morning. I'm going to start you guys off fresh. So favor will not be on yours. It'll start with the next word. 80% of this app is bullshit. It's meant to be a game or a hoax. So it's up to me to find the 5 to 20% that actually matches the location, something with us, so forth and so on. And again, if it's relevant, I will always give you a verifiable link to show you why it's relevant. Now, however, you are going to get the entire list. One of you is going to text me and say, hey, my cat's name is Radar, and Cat and Radar were on there. That's relevant to you. I don't know that.
Right.
During the tour. Does that make sense? That's why I give you the whole list. So your first word is going to be flat. Don't know what it means. Again, could be part of the 80% that's BS. The second one I'm going to use is called a reverse spirit box. Now, I debunked this one as well because I do have the software to analyze EVPs and everything. So I put it in there because they said that it was FM radio stations just being played backwards. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of BS. You can't do that. So I put it in there, and it's literally just a man and a woman saying words in a random order. Now, I played it for over an hour. Like, I recorded it, could not find a loop. I wrote down every word that I heard, did not see anything that was duplicated. So I have no idea how long the loop is. However, this is what it sounds like. Oops, I just shut it off. Turn it up so you guys get the gist.
Who is this? I heard.
I heard lotion.
I heard lotion.
I heard lotion too. I did put lotion on.
Okay. So, how this guy actually works, I'm going to give you a little bit of evidence right now so that way you can get the gist of what I'm looking for in this guy. That's not it. Let's just go this way. So, I was talking about a woman from England, and you might be able to verify this because I didn't know this at the time.
Baked beans breakfast? Yeah. Baked beans for breakfast. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, here's what happened. Your spirit box said, I'll fix you, baked beans breakfast, and then a digital word list gave me the word tea, all within 2.5 minutes of each other. I didn't catch it till the next morning.
Tea? Yeah.
But I caught baked beans breakfast real time, as you've seen.
No, that's absolutely,
But that was the reverse spirit box that's all gibberish.
Yeah.
You heard how clear it was.
It was absolutely clear, yeah.
So, again, there's a little bit of evidence for you.
Okay.
That's probably one of my strongest things that I have. As far as your video, we'll play this down, get it out of the way since we're all standing here already. Sorry to keep you
Oh, no,
waiting
it's,
here.
no,
but
this
you
is
guys
great.
Need to know what you're getting yourselves into. So I was at. Well, I don't know why that is playing like that. So here's what we're looking at. That's a wall. See the orange? You're going to see 2 living people right about there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're going to fast forward a few seconds, and you're going to see 2 dead people going the opposite way. Oh, they missed up.
Is this us?
No.
No, this
Oh.
is.
So we're going to go back to the wall. Watch right above the wall. You're going to see 2 black.
Yeah,
Oh, I
two
see
icy
them
cold
right there.
spots.
So-
yeah.
One thing I will ask of you during the whole tour, if you can, try to keep a person in view.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you were to
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
turn that thing
This
around
is
on
what
the
I'm
wall,
doing right. Yeah.
it's because it's going to turn all one color, and he's not going to be able to see the fluctuation.
Right. See,
So if
guys.
something's starting to move, he's not going to be able to see it.
But if
So
I.
that's why I say try to keep a person in view, because that
So
way
you
he
can
gets
see what's
all of the
around him.
colors.
Yeah. Okay. And they could be moving
Yeah.
right there.
Right. So we start here on purpose. I did not finish telling you. I do have 2 little satchels of stones that have been blessed by good psychic friends of mine because I was taking shit home with me. Ever since I've been carrying those, I've been fine. It actually helps bring positive paranormal activity to me, but keeps it grounded, so it's at a
Right.
distance. So nothing's going to be going home with any of us, so forth and so on.
That's
There we go.
Um,
Yeah.
So this building that we start at, used to be called Big John's. Big John.
Oh, Big
was-
John's Tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Big John.
I've
was-
had a few beers here.
Okay, good. So you might
Yeah.
even know this story.
Yeah.
Can
So-
I turn this up now? or
No, I'm talking.
Oh, so when you're talking, I keep it
When the
quiet.
teacher is talking, you be
Okay.
quiet in the class.
I was a Walmart manager of over 350 people.
Yeah.
I know how to keep a crowd going. So anyway, Big John used to sit. Well, he played for the 1947 New York Giants until
That's right.
1952.
Yeah.
He also played with Tom Landry, and I'm not a football guy. I only know that because of my data. Tom Landry came through one night. I
Yeah.
got the word coach, cowboy, and Tom came up 3 times.
Wow.
But he played with Big John in 1948. I was like, oh shit, look at that. He was a big coach for the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't know that. Anyway, he used to sit in the back of the bar, and he would nod off to the bartender if the cadets coming over from the Citadel were of age or not. And one night, 2 guys came in. Big John knew that they weren't of age, told the bartender cut them off. They leave, pretty ticked off. They come back the next night, try to steal the cash register from the front of the bar. Big John sees this. They rustle and tumble. A couple shots were fired. John gets shot in the neck, and the bullet ricochets and lands in the wall. John gets up. He sits down at the bar. He says, "Get them guys an ambulance. Get me another beer." Right? Good story. I just told you a story where nobody died. It's the bullet hole that haunts the place. It carries the paranormal activity. I don't know how paranormal activity is going to affect any of you. You guys are worried about that. I do need to know if the slightest headache, queasiness, anything like that comes about. We'll move you to a safer place. It is said that people that sit in front of this bar, because that's where the bullet hole is, will start to feel those exact things. Queasiness, nausea, just a little bit, not so much that they're like, oh my god, I need an ambulance, but it's more like you just don't feel good, almost like a cold. So, Big John does claim that he sees a ghost out here. Not Big John. The previous owner of this place, Kane Rum Bar. Have you come down here when it was Kane's?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, so Paul obviously allowed me to start my tours here because of the stories, but the mantle above your heads is part of the big earthquake of 1886.
Right.
A piece of that broke off and killed somebody, and Paul used to claim that he had some dark spots happening
Yeah.
right outside the bar. I don't have evidence of that. I'm taking his word for it. So,
Do it over there.
you know you don't have to hold that like that all night. It's not taking a camera.
Okay.
Alright, let's go practice and learn a little bit of history.
All right. Lead the way, sir.
Obviously, you guys aren't going to mind my name. Amazing.
Yeah, bake all you want.
Oh, she brought ours now.
Okay, so when you're not talking, should I turn it up?
I'm going to be telling you more here in a second.
Okay.
I'll give you the cue of spirit boxes up. There's going to be times where we separate just a little bit so I can use my spirit boxes. I'm guessing you are the one that lives here.
We all live. Well, we live.
I used to live
We live here.
here.
She's.
Is that anything?
Yes. So you are standing on top of a sewer line.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
There's nothing that should be making that thing go off.
Oh,
So
It's
the sewer
going
line
off,
is not
yeah.
going to make it go off. I'm just giving you that there's
Ask
no
me the
electrical lines
question.
underneath this. Now hang on, we're going to go over some of that stuff. I know, she's
I
excited.
don't know what that means.
So let's move over this way because this is a parking lot. I want to make sure we're not creating ghosts. So nobody's going to die tonight. These people fly through here. So.
I think I passed out.
Really?
Yeah.
So let me kind of give you the skinny of what's going on here. So first off, there is a cafe. Oh, she's getting red now. Okay. So
I knew she would.
rehabilitation is the word that I got. Anybody hear about the rehab? Have you really?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll wait and see what happens. So, Crew Cafe claims that they have a suicidal haunting. I did walk through at the EMF. I got a little bit of a glimpse upstairs. Nothing much. They did ask me to do a full investigation for my podcast. That was supposed to be over the summer. Thank you, COVID, for swearing that out. But I don't have any records of the house because it used to be a slave home. So,
Right.
if you know anything about Crew Cafe, it's 2-story. It's pretty large. When slaves did not live in that particular building, it's either an add-on, it's a reconstruct, something of that nature, and I can't find any record of what it used to be other than a platinum system. That's it. So I may just pass it up. For you history buffs, Charleston used to be much skinnier. At least the peninsula of it, so all the outside stuff, her thing's going crazy. She's like, I don't want this thing.
I just don't know what that means.
I'm gonna tell you.
Special.
Yeah.
So
What does it mean?
something's hanging out. I see a little bit of a pattern there, but I don't know where it's coming from. Now it's moving all over the place. So we're going to get some good activity once I show everybody how to use their devices a little bit more thoroughly. But again, Peninsula of Charleston, much skinnier. Everything on the outskirts now is man-made junk. So Revolutionary War, ship rolls up, shoots a cannonball, lands right at the stop sign past Crew Cafe. No deaths and tragedies. We just found pieces of the cannonball, and we were able to verify there was nothing really deaths and tragedies. And I don't get any paranormal activity there, so I wouldn't go up there. But anyway, that's just for the history buffs. I usually have a skeptic look at it, stop, and then once it started back up again. Interesting. Got the word wire. Alright, so let's talk about, where are we now? This is the red barn lot where we keep the horses for carriage rides.
Okay, this is not where I'm at.
So the horses are still inside. You're not going to be using your spirit box close to those windows to speak them. So this is also the same red barn lot where they had the horses that delivered milk to Charleston. That kind of dates it for you, 1860s to 1920s. So that's all the history I have. That's why I use this as a practice grounds. So let's talk about spirit boxes, because you're very antsy about getting started with that. So she wants to talk to them. So we're not going to use yes or no questions. In this particular location, we're going to start off very simple to teach you how to use it. So you're going to ask a question of something you already know. We all know that the barn is red. You're going to ask, what color is the barn? Okay, not yet. You're going to ask that, then you're going to listen for about 30 seconds and ask it again if you don't get an answer. After 3 or 4 tries, try something else. And they're a person. They're not in the box. You don't have to speak to them in there. They're a conversation right in front of you, especially since we know our EMF is going crazy. If you don't get an answer, like, all right, then tell me what's inside the barn. At that point, we can listen for clues. We could hear horses. Maybe the word soldier. Wow. Pick up agreement everywhere, soldier. Interesting. So at that point, we could be hearing horses, draft, so draft horses, milk, delivery, animal. We can hear any of those clues that would make sense. Okay, so it's the same thing. If you were going to answer after 30 seconds, try it again. Same question. Don't turn it down and ask the question. Just leave it running. And that way you can actually hear it. So in case you get interrupted during your questions. That's how you're going to use that. Now, with this particular location, I'm starting off easy with things that you know. The next place is going to be that you don't know. Because I have the answers and I'm not going to tell them to you. So that way you can ask a million different types of questions. I'm probably going to give you like 15 questions you can answer. You're going to pick whatever you want to. Because we are going to separate the next location. Thermal imaging. So, Dave, come down this way.
Sorry, yeah, I was trying to capture everything.
So, again, with those black spots, you know what you're looking for there.
Yes, sir.
We also could catch thermodynamics in reverse. So what does that mean? That means, let's say, for example, the spot right in front of me starts to heat up very quickly.
Yeah.
Thermodynamics law states that temperature doesn't get generated or
Right.
created. It has to balance. So if something is growing in heat very quickly, that means something is getting cold very quickly.
Yeah.
I don't want you to find that cold spot. I want you to stay on the heat.
For every action is an equal and
Exactly.
opposite reaction.
You got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. So again, as a writer and an English guy, you wouldn't think I'd get so specific.
I'm Welsh. Sorry,
Yeah.
no, I got you. Okay.
Legislator is the next word. I'm getting a lot of stuff here. So the EMF you're basically getting red spikes here. So if the two of you like want to start your spirit box session here to see what's actually happening, you can. If you want to just get us kind of a quick lap, real slow. So you're gonna.
Okay. Do you want me to keep you in frame or just keep going around?
You can just keep going around because there's a lot of different types of material here. The really cool
Okay.
thing is that you have metal, you have asphalt, you have brick, wood, grass, foliage, all
Yeah,
kinds
so
of
just to get a reading of all the kinds of the material.
Right, exactly. So that way
Trees and...
you get
yeah.
a gist of what's actually happening in here.
Right.
What is that moving around? You see him? Oh, look at that baby gecko.
Oh, there we go.
Is he leopard? It looks like a leopard.
He's a beauty. What are we, fella? No. Oh, jeez.
He's a leopard. How the hell did he get up? Oh, I think we lost him now.
Oh,
Just
he's
be careful
gone.
where he... Nope. Nope. Where'd he go?
All right, so
He was a leopard. I'm surprised to see him.
the barn has a bit of heat, obviously from the horses.
Right.
And yeah.
So the cell phone technology of the cell phones we're used to now, it's not going to have that. So if you move too
Right.
quick, it's going to pixelate. And it
Exact-
kind of
yeah.
distorts things. So
Yeah.
that's why I say nice slow movements.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So we are going to have kind of like we do walk like 4 blocks in between
Sure.
because I take you to real haunted
Yeah,
locations.
yeah.
So you don't have to like go slow there. Keep up with us. That's
Okay.
great. So
No,
but yeah.
so not in frame all the time.
Yeah.
Just when you say. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean,
Gotcha.
it's literally you're just
Yeah.
a cameraman.
Okay. I can
And,
deal with that.
and I watch that on my TV if we have an active night.
Okay.
So that way I could see everything. Otherwise, I just watch it on my computer screen, which is still a pretty decent size.
Gotcha.
It's a 28, so I can still see things
Yeah.
a little bit closer than the 6-inch that you're looking
Absolutely.
at now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I upload it to YouTube, then pass it over to my website. So that way, you guys, all your collected data is in one spot, and I
Right.
have a nice YouTube channel of nothing but thermal imaging.
Great.
So
All right.
you can see every investigation I've ever done.
Here we go. Okay. Beautiful. All right. This is great.
So I take it this is what y'all were expecting.
Actually, I think this is better than I was expecting because it's
So
the
what-
scientific aspect
And I
that
hear
I
that,
like.
and I'm not bragging, but I get that a lot. So
Yeah.
what was missing out of the description of when you guys booked your tour?
Nothing. That's why I
No,
booked the
no.
tour. And
She
I'm
booked the
very,
tour,
very,
but,
very,
um,
very, what's the word?
I've done ghost tours in Charleston
And it's
before, and
not
it's all
fun.
like you said, it's Ouija boards and
stories.
stories,
I know,
and
Ouija
but this
boards
is
are stories.
actual. Like I said, when I was a kid, I thought I was schizophrenic,
Right.
and this is scientific proof that like maybe
not.
I don't have a mental illness, or
Right.
that's okay if I do, but you know, it might be evidence that I don't. So
Right.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah,
Well, again, people usually say that this is more than what they were expecting,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
that's where I get in a, and I don't think I have on that.
It's more in a good way for me.
Yeah, and it
absolutely,
usually is. I want to make sure people are booking more because
Yeah.
they maybe I need to add the fact that I'm giving this all back to you. I like to make it a nice surprise when you guys get here.
Yeah, I like the science. You are based in science, and I like that. Yeah.
You can turn that up a little bit so you can hear it.
Hear
Okay.
the barn popping?
That's
Well,
the horse.
Yeah, that's the horses, honey.
Yeah, we don't want to spook them. They will kick the wall and
That-
scare the shit out of all of us.
Yeah,
Not scaring
that
animals.
that clicking might be poop hitting the floor. All right,
Is the barn red?
my arms are getting tired,
That's a yes or no question.
Oh, well, that's what, yeah.
and you've got to wait for 30
So
seconds.
here's why I don't do yes or no questions.
Yeah.
If you say somebody here,
What color is the barn,
if you
right?
say no, that means somebody's still here. If you hear the word houses, or they say the word houses, you think you heard the word yes. Because S and O are two of the most common sounds in the phonetic English language.
Right.
That's why we don't use yes or no questions. So you guys ready to learn some real history? Now that we actually
Absolutely.
got
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
Got the gist of how all
Absolutely.
these devices work.
Love to.
Don't step in the cookie.
I go through a lot of shoes per year. So
Yeah, I
you
was
can
gonna
imagine.
say. Yeah. You put in some mileage.
I do. I'm actually thinking about adding a third tour because it gets dark at 5:30.
I know,
I
right?
could
You could
start at
squeeze
6.
one in, yeah.
But I drive Uber Eats when tours are slow.
Oh,
like this week with rain.
Yeah, I drive Lyft, so
Oh.
yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So like today was super dead for me. I'm like, I made $20 over 4 hours. What the hell is going on?
$20 in 4 hours, God, that is. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it is. It's.
I normally make $20 an hour.
Yeah, it's barren right now. Yeah.
All right.
All right. We got the pole. 12 over here?
I better mask up,
Yeah.
just in case. So, let me kind of give you the gist of what's going on here. Your EMF's already going crazy. So, this is the home of the Charles and Eliza Pinckney mansion site.
Okay.
Okay, so Charles and Eliza, their mansion would have been in the front. Eliza's garden would have been lined up with that tree all the way across here. They're probably talking to that homeless guy up here, which is good. We want that guy out of here. He's been hanging out way too long. So anyway, and the servant quarters would have been in the back. Okay, so that's the layout of the land. Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles, and they had a nephew named Charles. The son and the nephew, signers of our Constitution.
Right.
I hate politics, and it's 2020. Let's move on to Eliza.
Let's keep going.
Go with the history, right? Yeah.
Eliza married Charles at a very young age because her father was dying overseas in England, baked beans breakfast, this is where that occurred, and where that occurred for the shadow of the dead people up in that corner. So,
Oh, that was where you showed
I
us
showed the
earlier
video.
on. Yeah.
so Eliza's dad was dying. She didn't want to go, so she got hitched and became a citizen and stayed here. So, dad got better. He didn't die yet. And he starts sending gifts over from England. One of those gifts happened to be the plant indigo. You guys see indigo all over town. This is why. We have a very deep culture with indigo in our Gullah culture. The slaves that we brought over from Africa knew how to cultivate this plant. The servants that worked for the Pinckneys knew how to cultivate this plant. So Eliza made indigo profitable. She used dad's connections overseas and was able to sell it, and she was the first businesswoman in the 1700s, which was something very unheard of. So, I'm giving you the very slim amount of things that Eliza Pinckney has done, and I'm going to give you some questions and weird facts about Eliza. Just every time I say her name,
I saw that.
Eliza goes off. So, Eliza Pinckney. So, anyway,
There we go. Yeah.
Eliza was the second wife named Eliza from Charles. Because sometimes the first wife comes through as well. You can ask what the maiden name is of the one who planted the indigo, and we'll get it. And I'm only giving you questions that I've had the answers to before. So, but the maiden name, so the indigo Eliza blank Pinckney. But the first wife did the same thing. Eliza blank Pinckney. Fill in the blanks. Maiden, it's not middle. You get a lot of people confuse that. So the younger kids usually confuse that.
Wait, y'all.
So,
Sorry, I thought he was reaching for his gun. Sorry.
oh. So I just kind of get that guy out of here.
Okay. My
And
bad.
them guys have tasers too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
he has
just
to, he's
got
probably-
nervous, you know.
I get it.
I'm more nervous about him than the ghosts.
Yeah. So am I. I don't need a $100 ticket for no
No.
mask. So, you can ask about Eliza's daughter. I wouldn't ask about any other children. Usually the activity stops. I'll explain about that later.
Oh, that's going, yeah.
But you can ask what Eliza's daughter's name was. So she'll give you that. You can ask anything you want to about Eliza's death. So how she died, where she died, how old she was. You can even ask. This one's really cool. I've gotten this one before. There was a U.S. president that was a pallbearer at her funeral.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask which U.S. president it was, and you'll get it. So he might be a little bit weird about filming. So let's just kind of hold that
I'll
down.
put that down, yeah.
Yeah. Let's.
Footprint?
Yeah.
What's that?
This is the footprint of the house?
This would have been the slave quarters back here. The floor plan would have been up towards the front. So he's probably gonna ask me what the hell's going on.
Well,
Yeah. Well, he sees my bag. I'm pretty obvious tour guide.
Oh.
Oh, look at that! It says educator.
Oh, there we
Look
go.
at that. So, where was I? So the weird facts. Ask about how she died. You can ask what happened to the mansion if you want to. I'm going to probably ask, this is where we're going to separate. So you guys are going to team up together, and I'm going to do my own thing so you have more on your audio, because I'm going to
Okay.
be using my reverse earphones. Obviously, there was somebody homeless up there by the gate, so try to be mindful of that. You'll be able to see them on
I
your thermal
actually
vision.
couldn't see them at all, and I was looking for them. Yeah.
When you get up there, because he lays on, there's a little concrete pad like this one. He
Yeah,
sleeps
yeah.
up there.
Okay.
So again, we used to have a trailer back here too, so they would sleep in between the dumpster and the trailer. And
Yeah.
then I'd get little kids on the camera going,
Right.
"Looks like there's somebody right there." I'm like,
Yeah,
"That's
right.
a person. Get over here." But your EMF meter, let me show you a little trick with that. Everybody notice the light that's flashing on the back of Five Church Restaurant?
Yeah.
It will usually go in sync. So if you hold that up, like you're going to take a selfie with it, it's usually in sync. Yours will pulse, then that will pulse. It's usually within 2 frames on the video. That's the energy pouring out of here and hitting the weak light over there and influencing.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
light
It's
is not
dead
always,
on, right? Yeah.
It's not always blinking either.
Right.
Sometimes it's not on at all. That's kind of my barometer of how much activity we're going to catch in here.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a pretty good flash. We're probably going to get something even if we miss it.
This is really blurry.
You can
It's
talk to it and
how
it
blurry?
goes way up
very
here,
blurry.
like PAS.
It's been like that for a while.
It's because everything's at a distance. So
Okay, so I need to get in closer.
Yeah, once-
Okay, all right.
see how it gets in focus
So
now?
I'm getting too far away.
Because
Okay.
it's literally, it's not that it's blurry, it's that the heat signature from...
It grows.
Right.
Ambient heat. Yeah. Okay.
You got
I
it.
got you. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. So you guys venture off, ask your questions, non-yes or no, help her out,
Okay.
and listen in on that
You
spirit
guys
box.
do yours and I'm going over.
Okay. I'm just gonna film you guys. So.
Go with it.
Go the opposite direction of where Miss Melissa.
Okay. All right. And remember, Melissa, it's what color is the post? What? Where is my friend Dave from?
What is your middle name? Elijah, what are your children's names?
This thing's just going off like crazy. What is it?
I know you are a great businesswoman.
Does this mean that there's
What do you
something
do
here,
business with?
or that we're just on some sort of like underneath these electrical wires?
Oh, honey, you can tell.
Did you have slaves back here?
So what about it?
That's electric.
Yeah. So it,
So come away and see.
How many children did you have, Eliza? Eliza, who was the pallbearer at your funeral?
Really cool.
Are you the first wife named Eliza? Are you the second wife named Eliza? You lived in Charleston, yeah? What is indigo? Eliza, what color was your mansion? Eliza, was there a president at your funeral?
You can tell. Focus on.
huh?
Okay. Just focus on Melissa. Baby.
Eliza, are you stuck here?
Who's got anybody in here? Shit, this is a bunch of bullshit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Eliza, how many slaves? Eliza, how many rooms were you?
Do you see what I see? All I see is booty.
This thing's just going nuts because there's all these lines around us. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean,
There's nothing going on for me.
the lights keep going red, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Where are you going? Where do you want to be? Eliza, can you come and go if you wish from this mansion?
That's a yes or no.
I know. I forget. Eliza, were you a businesswoman?
What, for fun? That's what I heard. What, for fun?
Eliza, did you work with Indigo?
That's a yes or no. Eliza, what color is indigo?
I'm not doing so good. Eliza, how many children did you have?
Eliza, what was your father's name?
Eliza, how old were you when you died? Eliza? Please tell me your middle name. Eliza, how many rooms were in your mansion?
What did you say? The president what?
Presidential.
Something.
Say Charleston, too. Eliza? Who was your favorite child? Eliza, what was your husband's name?
Alright, what are we getting out of that spirit box?
We got Charleston and a president.
I got Charleston,
President?
the
Yeah.
president. I got lots of rooms when I said how many rooms did your mansion have. I heard something else though. I forgot what it was.
I got quite a few things myself. I heard
What'd
your
you get?
name, because I asked for them to tell me one of your names. And I said David or David is pretty easy to say.
Yeah.
I did say Dave. I did get the word house, which is pretty common for here.
Right.
I did get the name Lamb. Lamb was the first Eliza.
Lamb?
Lamb.
Yeah.
Lamb is in the animal, L-A-M-B.
Yeah, I'm from Wales, which is basically the lamb capital of the world.
Well, Eliza Lamb Pinkney,
Yeah.
Oh!
I wasn't looking for that.
Yeah.
Made it.
You asked for her middle name
I
just
asked
not
for
too
her
long
middle
ago.
name, but
Yeah.
not her maiden name.
That's why I say always check for maiden.
Yeah.
There was one other thing. I got neither of them. And then I asked Eliza Lamb Pinkney directly how many children she had with Charles. About 3 minutes later, after I was already on to another question, I heard the word 0. She didn't, and I knew that
I kept
answer.
asking who was your favorite child.
Okay. That was probably a bad answer, or a bad question to ask.
Yeah.
That's why I said
Yeah.
don't ask about the others. So, I'll give you that reason now. So, let's go over the answers of the questions I did provoke with you guys. So, the house did burn down in the Great Fire of 1861, which would have been after Charles and Eliza's time. So, that would have been passed on to the children. This was one of their many homes. And it happened up in that corner. I like to say go venture off to see who's drawn to up to that corner.
I didn't go there. I should have been drawn there.
It's okay. That's why I test you guys. And it was on the second floor. So usually I'll get the word upstairs or hole in roof or something along those lines. Eliza was 70 years old when she died from breast cancer in Philadelphia. and that's also where she's buried. So she wasn't even buried. She's buried up there. Now, Charles is buried over at St. Philip's. So that's where he's at. I did get the word Saint, and I'm waiting for the word Phillips to come up after it, which would be super relevant. George Washington was the president. What's funny is you got the president, and my last tour when I was here, we got the word president on my spirit.
You got Charles Bennett and president.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm still gonna take it. That's
Yeah.
that's a lot.
It's fairly specific.
And I didn't even know that fact up until about a month ago. So that was like we heard
I got Dwight. I don't know what that is.
Did Dwight D. Eisenhower
Did they
ever
find
stay
out?
here?
Long after.
Yeah, that was long
That was,
after.
I know, but
she
did he
have a
ever
son
stay
named
here?
Dwight?
Yeah.
The house burned down in 1861.
Yeah.
So Eisenhower would have been. When was Eisenhower?
There were no
president?
sons.
There was 3 sons, 1 daughter. So I already told you
What
one
were their
name:
names?
Charles, Thomas, and George. George died
asked
as
about
an
the
infant.
slave.
So that's why I say don't ask about the other kids. 'Cause
Right.
You're going to accidentally stumble across who's your favorite child. It was probably George because she named him after her father. And he died as an infant. He died within the same month. That's all I have is the month. So it could have been days or weeks. I don't know. I got nobody. It's interesting. What was the other question I asked you guys to provoke that? Fire, George Washington, death, kids. I did get the word shovel while we were still in the Red Barn Lot, like we were walking this way, and I usually get things related to her garden. So I'll get hole, dig, shovel, plant, those kind of things. So, and
There
again,
was a lot.
and you could have missed stuff, and I'm going to give you markers in the morning.
Yeah.
So we are going to walk up about 4 blocks. Your EMF is going to go crazy because of the parking meters. You can pretty much
She
ignore
told like,
it.
I don't know what I'm doing with this.
Okay, so just ignore
You
it.
just have to hold it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
that's all you do.
All right.
And basically, you were kind of the meter, so she knew where to go. So it was kind of like when you're red hot, that's where she needs to stop and ask questions.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, we need to team up here, guys.
Come on, let's really do this.
You guys, you're doing fine.
One of the triplets unites.
Now, the camera again.
Into the ice.
Keep filming. By all means,
Oh.
keep filming.
Yeah.
But as far as your spirit box, if you want to listen to it along the way, a lot of people like to chat because it is a good
Can I
5-minute
talk?
one. What's
Can I
that?
talk to it?
You're going to be listening for names. So
Yeah.
the reason why I say that is I'll explain in the next location.
Okay.
But I don't want to jade anything and give you the answer. So
Okay.
I don't like to do suggestive thoughts. So when I do my own investigations, I go in blind. All I know is that the place is haunted. Like I told you about Crew Cafe, all I want to know is what happened there.
Oh yeah.
After that, I don't want names. I don't want slaves. I
Right.
don't want any of that stuff. I
Yeah.
don't want the details. I want to go in blind. So, for example, I just did the Flight 93 Memorial up in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's
Oh my
never
gosh.
been
Yeah.
claimed to be
Yeah.
haunted,
Yeah.
and I wanted to be the first. So I turned the spirit box on mute, slid it in my pocket. The camera was hanging out of my cargo pocket, so nobody knew I was filming, and my phone was running with its word list. And the EMF was in my other pocket, so I could just kind of check it from time to time and still enjoy the museum. That's how I do my investigations. I'm touring museums just like you guys. You guys just don't have a clue that I'm doing it. I found more evidence out of that place.
That's so sad.
It is. And I shouldn't. My wife was with me, and she just the one who
But
took
it's
me there.
exciting, too, to know that there's something else.
And basically, all of the data told me a story. After I did, and I didn't know much walking into it. So I looked at the
I know
data,
what they
wrote
say.
down everything, and then I read 3 books based on that particular flight. So
Yeah.
I knew all the details. And a lot of it was the accountability of the pilot. So one of the books that I read was amazing, by the way, if you're into that and you want the detail. Like, told this guy's whole life story. I mean, literally detail from youth up until the time he came to the Americas. It was crazy what this guy did. But anyway, but that's how I do my investigations. Yeah, let's get out of these guys' way. We're actually going to go through
All
this
right.
place.
I'm going to talk to it. I'm going to listen.
I'm using the noisiest group out on the street. Fine.
So who are we going to talk to now?
Up 1, then down 3.
Her or Stephanie?
Up on down 3, Melissa.
Watch that little curve right there.
Hi.
Who's that?
That must be some ectoplasm I'm smelling. Little do they know in 10 years they're going to be just as uncool as us.
It said review
Gonna have a
the
whole film
evidence.
with me, 'cause he
It
keeps
said
trying to-
review
I know,
the
I'm
evidence.
just trying to get all of you.
Wait for his car to turn, and then we'll skip across town.
Earl County Brown.
Lots of police out tonight. Probably because the mayor was out on the news tonight talking about mask wearing. You guys see that?
No.
Yeah. The
Talking
mayor
about
got
what?
on the news today talking about all the mask wearing. We all need to be doing.
Oh, now he's on board.
It's a hot spot. She might be in bankruptcy.
What are you talking about?
I said, where is Chantel? And it said she might be in bankruptcy.
Well, according to all the packages that are coming, I'm pretty sure that's true. Go ahead.
Who are we going to talk to next? Where are we heading? Tell me where we're going.
To the
What
what?
is your name?
He said to the what? I thought it said to the mill.
Where are we going? How long have you been here? Are you waiting for us? And what's your name? What year were you alive? What year were you alive? What year were you alive? Are you a male or female? Both. Both.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Are you married?
practicing.
You have children?
Yes, I know.
That's a yes or no question.
Oh. What's your daughter's name?
There you go.
What's your son's name? Samuel?
Samuel.
Alright. Let's go ahead and grab that. You got the name Samuel? Verify that. I think it was the same. So I have the full list of every person that's ever lived down here.
No, it's coming up and down.
Samuel Coleman.
Not like
It
that.
was when you. Oh yeah, because that's close to it.
This list isn't very long. Alright, so welcome to Lodge Alley if you didn't know where you were at. So Lodge Alley Inn claims to have their own ghosts. No hotel in town gives me free rooms. I'm not verifying any of them. The name Samuel that you just gave me, Samuel Coleman, lived here in 18... Where is it? He was a mariner 1809. So I did get the number 7 while we were coming through here, which would make sense because there's not many. The numbers for the addresses of people that lived here weren't very high. They were all single digit. So pretty interesting to think about that. So I'll definitely add that so you guys can see the list. But the people used to live here. So obviously the 2 buildings were here. They had shotgun houses. Again, Peninsula was much skinnier. You wouldn't see those buildings down at the end of the alley. Those were gone. So the small low tide would be coming through here. And who would want to live down here but lower cost people? This is all that they can afford. So that they actually did do an archaeological dig on these handmade hand-laid bricks. They are all made of clay. Again, you can see some of the shapes and sizes. None of them are the same shape at all. And the archaeological dig proved, with some of their tools and some of their clothing, that these people were lower class. So it makes sense that they would live in this alley. Again, it's only wide enough for a horse and carriage to come through. And I'm boring Chantel over there. She's on 3 times.
Sorry, no.
It's not her job. It's not her jam.
Sorry, I
It's
call
her
people out
birthday,
all
but
the
it's our jam. She doesn't know what she's doing with this thing. She's never seen it before.
time. She's just helping us determine what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Now, when
I'm
something-
going to trade with you in a little bit and see what you get. Come on. You can't do it until you stop.
So Freemasons and Masons used to meet down here long before it was actual residence. So again, all kinds of history happens down here. I
Yeah.
used to tell psychic stories down here. When I worked with a psychic, but I have so much activity that happens in here now. I can't help but like dive into the history a little bit. I do get a lot of green orbs with pictures when people take pictures down here. I normally with my Urba 10.
But I know that they're
They are
relevant. That's what it is.
but they all have color. So colors do mean something every word that comes up. So it's just a matter of what color is it, and I get the same orb. Green.
Cold.
Yeah, bright blue. They're like crystal blue.
Crystal blue.
Because I get green down here.
And look at it with me. Look at this. Not doing anything.
Yeah, because when we do get something here, it's pretty exciting because it's pretty dead in here. If you do get something, you're going to be close to the hotel, and that's because they're wired. Right. So let me give you the blue real quick. I have articles on all of this that I've written in those studies. So orbs, blue is psychic energy and truth. And then the green that I get down here is human spirit bundle of nature. So, where was I? So there's a lot that happens down here. Some shadow people down here, verify the pictures. Not always something you catch around all the time.
I don't know that I really want to. Do you think shadow people are they were human ones?
It everything in here. You can listen to this. Sorry, I was going to use my spirit box. You can listen to the spirit box in here. Just keep it at an audible level to you because there is a
I
hotel.
want you to talk to it though because I think they'll talk to you.
Well, let's see what she comes through with first. Sometimes they just like make me breakfast. I didn't actually ask for anything about what she ate. It just came through.
Where are you? Show us something? You show us something. Tell us something.
So we're gonna actually walk into this one.
Okay.
Are you here, Samuel? This is, well, let's see. Is there someone else other than Samuel here? Is there a man here? Is there a woman here? Is there more than one woman here? What's her name?
Burn just showed up. I don't know if there was a fire down here. I'll have to dive into the
How many women are here? Is this a bar? What's your name? Maisie. I heard Maisie. Did you hear Maisie? I heard Maisie. Can you tell us your name again? Did you live near this alley? Oh.
Mine's coming. 90 words a minute. It's coming. Why do this test that tight?
What happened in this alley? What happened in this alley?
Just like that. Too long.
I got to take them.
What happened in this alley?
I'm just kind of contemplating, you know, about the next chapter.
Grief.
Analyzing
Grief.
what I've written.
What do you say?
I said what happened in this alley was grief.
Grief?
What kind of dog you have?
It was burns and grief.
Aww. I love dogs.
Well, during the Revolutionary and Civil War, maybe there was.
My husband thinks I'm crazy.
My wife wants to get another one, but the two we have, my wife has a disability as well. So Byron helps with my medication.
Tell me your name.
And then Emily kind of helps with my wife when I'm not there. She has CMT. So she has braces for one.
Okay.
So when she has to
Was
walk
there a
around,
lot of
she's
grief
traveling
in
with
this
her.
alley?
Yeah, so
Let's see, yes, no.
just, I mean, I work at night. So
What happened in this alley that caused grief?
Yeah. Yeah.
and Emily's still a puppy. She's
Here,
barely over a
you
year.
want to switch and try talking to it?
Byron is a highball chapel.
Can you show yourself, please?
If there are any people here, what are your names?
Why are you sad? Show yourself.
Going on around here?
I did get the name Carson.
there a Maisie? Maybe Maisie?
What bad things happened in this alley?
Oh, I don't want to provoke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Don't need any
Burns and
yeah.
What happened in this alley?
No cars. I'll take Samuel. That's a good one.
It was a good one.
Can you follow us?
Can you show me yourself? Please. Okay. Please show yourself.
There's a volume at the top. It's a wheel.
Oh, nice. Am I got the wrong top?
Nope. You're right.
Look on a ghost story over there.
Alright, so this is a very popular area. This is Philadelphia Alley. Do you guys know the story already?
No, I have no idea.
And you've taken ghost stories down here?
Only once.
This is perfect.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I don't go in there to tell the story, they already don't like me.
Okay.
I'm speaking their business.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh yeah, this is very, like, you'll see me mouse. But I tell the story out here because their big finale is I'm going to give you a skin in like 5. Okay. So that way you guys know what you're listening for, what you're watching for, and so forth and so on. So this is Philadelphia Alley now, but it used to be called Dueler's Alley. And before that, it was called Cow Alley because this is where they kept all the livestock when it was Charlestown, before Charleston. So again, we get the word cow, we'll get livestock, we'll get all kinds of things coming through on the spirit boxes. It happens often. The story we all tell is from Dueler's Alley. So late 1700s, there was a Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. He moved down here from Rhode Island. Keep those initials in mind because RI shows up on our spirit boxes or in the story later. So the doctor moved down here because he was supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents, and the attorney handling that money said, "You're not getting hitched yet. Send the doctor away. I think he's just after your money." So the doctor moves down to Charleston. The coachman that brings him into town sets him up to be robbed and killed. Not a very good start to his new lifestyle. Rhode Island to... What the hell is that? Thorifer?
Thorifer? What's it say?
Thurifer, now it says dispose.
Thurifer. I'm an English major and I don't know what
So
that
am
word
I.
means. Yeah.
One of my bachelor degrees is English.
Yeah, yeah,
the second's
yeah.
journalism. I have no idea what that is. Can somebody Google that?
Thurifer.
So I don't have to interrupt.
It has to be horse related.
Thurifer?
No?
Sounds kind of agricultural, doesn't it?
It does. Like I'm almost thinking like
Got it.
a hay or something like that.
T-H-O-R.
No.
Thurifer.
I-F?
E-R.
And now I got the word blind.
Please don't be at a demon.
Thurifer dispose. Thurifer.
Just so
An
we-
acolyte carrying a cancer.
I'm very sick, so I wonder if it's me.
Censor.
Censor.
I thought you
Sorry,
said cancer.
well, that's what I read it as over your shoulder.
Carrying a sensor.
What do you mean? I don't
Latin
understand.
meaning thus for.
Thus for dispose.
Thus for disposed is what you got.
What does that mean?
Thurifer means thus for disposed.
Am I being disposed?
Okay, let me finish the story. That makes sense. Okay, I think I got
Okay,
it.
because I'm like, it's me.
In Old English.
Yeah, Thurf is like an Anglo-Saxon version.
That's 4.
Yeah.
All right, so robbed and killed. Somebody walking by sees everything that's happening. His name is Ralph Isaacs with the initials R.
Stop.
Yeah.
So again, Ralph sees what's going on. He says, "You don't want to stay here. Let me take you somewhere safe." Sends the coachman away. He takes him to 59 Church Street, which is, as you know, same street as St. Philip's. Sorry, I have to point that out for tourists because they don't get the relation. It's about 1.5 miles from here. I mentioned. So it's relevant later. So the two become friends, but the doctor's practice starts to take off, which means he's making lots of money. The man is going to be moving down soon. He becomes known as the Whistling Doctor. He's pretty jovial, really happy guy. So he's in a different part of society now. But him and Ralph remain friends. They still go to plays together, but they have different seats. It's kind of like going to the movies, but you make more money than everybody else, so you get better seats. She's the jerk. So, sorry, needed an example. But at any rate, so they're talking about the plays on the way home. One night they go see Richard III. Some stories will tell you it was from Dock Street Theater. You just got a red blip out of nowhere. But your phone's nearby. Sorry. I was like, that's really weird. That doesn't happen here. But at any rate, Richard III, some stories say Dock Street Theater. There's no confirmation of that because there was a dozen theaters in Charleston at the time. And I also want to say that Edgar Allan Poe's mother was an actress in town at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm actually reading the new book, Edgar Allan Poe's Charleston, which is very interesting. As a writer, I'm sure you can imagine, I'm after the Annabelle Lee myth of her buried in Unitarian Church.
Absolutely.
But anyway, where was I? So they're talking about Richard III. The doctor loves the new actress. Ralph does not. They argue, turns into an insult party on the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home. They obviously get very pissed at each other and go the opposite way. Now, Ralph is from Charleston. He's an attorney, and he has ties to the newspaper. He calls them up, places an ad, and says, the doctor's a disgrace to the city of Charleston. The doctor rebuttals with, let's go to Dueler's Alley and settle this. Now, you seem like you're a little bit into history, like you know.
Yeah.
So, what do you think of with a duel?
I mean, you think of it's,
Not swords or
pistols.
But what's going to happen?
someone's going to die.
Or someone's going to, or they're both going to shoot in the air.
Right.
Right.
It's a 75% chance that they're going to shoot in the air or on the ground. Now, when there was a death, we have a gate for that. So there's a gate just off to the right. Once we go through this gate to get in there, I'll take you guys up there. But they would take the dead body through that courtyard over to St. Philip's, drop the body, and go celebrate the winner. That's how it went. Just good times. So anyway, here's what happened with the doctor's duel. So the doctor rebuttals the newspaper ad from Ralph and says, we're going to go to Dueler's Alley. So they come down here, they take their 20 paces, the doctor turns, points his gun in the air, and he shoots. Just like you said. Good job. However, Ralph takes one shot, because all he can, 1700s. Can't load it quick enough to take two. Puts it in the kneecap of the doctor. His friends pick him up. They carry him, not through the courtyard. They take him home to 59 Church Street, which is the Rose Thomas house, I believe it's called.
What'd you get?
I'll explain in a second. Gets better. So, the doctor dies 10 days later. What's the moral of the story? Don't get engaged to Amanda. You're going to die. They say as you walk through here, you can hear the whistles of the doctor. I've gotten a few that I can't debunk. We get a lot of hecklers. Give us a fake one. Give us a fake one for your audio. So when you're listening to this, you want to crank it up.
Crank it up and let's hear it.
No, you want to crank up this audio. We're using a different tool.
Okay.
So with that, I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to do everything I can to stay away from you. So if you're going to listen to it mildly, not like them, right?
That's a golf cart.
I know, they're jamming. So,
Okay, I don't like this thing.
Do you want to hold this?
I want your thing.
Oh.
So the other piece of history down here, you guys know about the fingerprints and handprints in the bricks?
Why don't I know this now?
It came through the newspaper a few years back.
Yeah.
So at the end of this alley, we have sun-dried bricks from slave kids. Because they literally had to turn. Okay, we have some of their fingerprints, wonderful handprint. But I will tell you that the handprint, the thumb goes into the next brick, which means that kid had to put the brick in wet and then slam his hand into it. Kind of like, screw you, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I will point it out, however, it is outside somebody's home. The grumpy dude that comes out of that house claims that those are fake, that they were put there in 2001. I'm just going to tell you right now, if he comes out of his house, we're going to move quickly. If you guys want pictures of it.
What about the what's the deal with the bricks?
The
The
bricks were...
slave boys put them down and they shoved them down and their fingerprints were in them, but the owner says that's not correct.
Right. Well, it's not so much that the fingerprints are from them shutting them down. It's from them tying because their fingers swipes. They just put the wrong side on there. Not necessarily. They're kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably 6 to 9 years old.
Possibly 4 to 5 years
Right.
back in the day.
Right. So again, but that one, it is probably, I would say he's probably 5 to 7 years old. That's how small the handprint is. We're not going to get any activity near it, so EMF activity doesn't occur there, so forth and so on. But this is a very interesting alley. It's the most beautiful place in Charleston. I love this alley. I will tell you another quick story of something that happened to me a few weeks ago. I was with a small group like this one. It was supposed to rain that night, so I didn't have many people booked. But I got up to the front. I got something weird. I always have a weird smeller. Okay, something smells always get to me. So I get up there and I smell like this weird grapefruit, like this weird tart, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to keep that quiet because I don't put my feelings into this. A guest comes up behind me and says, I smell passion fruit. I'm like, nah, I'm pretty sure it's grapefruit. We argued, I mean, it was weird. We had to move around to find it. And it was real strong in one place and go away. And then it would move over here, real strong and go away. I'm like, this is really weird. Then the word pie came up on my, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Who the hell eats grapefruit or passion fruit pie? Go home, I Google that shit. Southern Living, grapefruit pie, originated in Charleston.
How about that?
I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, the word letter that came up. So, the reason why I chuckle is because the doctor wrote poetry about his life and times here in Charleston.
Right.
And about his fiancée Amanda back home. These were pretty much in letter format to go back up to her. His sister, Elizabeth, published it as a book called The Literary Remains of Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd after he died. So the word letter makes complete sense to me.
Sure.
Now I do get the words poetry, I do get the words pistol, I get all kinds of shit. So we'll just kind of see what happens. Obviously keep filming. If we pass through another tour, I'm going to ask if the spirit box, gets lowered. Again, they already don't like it. They open the gate, so I'm going to close it and then open it back up so you guys have a nice creepy sound effect for your audio. You need something creepy on there, right?
He is here. What are your name?
The name Samuel we got earlier,
Yeah.
he was a mariner.
Fisherman. There you go.
He's chatting with us. And we got another report earlier too.
What was your status in life?
It didn't creep, it's too wet.
It's okay.
We got another tour passing by, so let's kind of hang out and see where they go. Again, this is what the bigger tour is.
What do you want me to listen to? For the surgeon? Whoa, hang on. Go ahead.
The gate obviously wasn't there.
I just got pretty I said,
You know, I've been in a lot of alleys in Charleston. Have you been here?
the surgeon.
Have you been here? I don't remember. Hey, kitty, 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 kitty. Let's take him home.
I think it was right at 10:05.
My thing doesn't work without your
Actually, my
energy.
first question was, what was
Yeah, hold this. If this thing starts going
I
off,
said, what do you want me to listen for? And he said,
I'm gonna freak out.
But again, your first question, that's why I say repeat it, because it takes time for the muscle. You should have kept with that.
It takes a lot of
So he
energy,
did
doesn't
answer.
it? And I probably am talking. I was probably talking too fast.
But there was a doctor that lived on this street. Yeah.
Well, the
What was
doctor
her
died.
name? Amanda?
Oh, that was the whole.
The
Let
Dr.
me
Joseph Brown
see
Ladd.
this.
Oh gosh, I was completely disassociating myself with the story that you just
Yeah.
told. Yeah.
What's her name? Amanda?
You need to turn it up. Yeah. I said, what was your occupation? And it said, listen. And I said, what should I listen for? And it said, the surgeon.
Who was the doctor? Amanda, do you miss the doctor?
That's a yes or no.
Amanda, do you miss his poetry?
Danger?
I'm gonna dismiss that. I know it was dangerous to come down here. Taxpayer.
Can you you whistle for me?
Yeah, gosh, I mean, like, I absolutely disassociated myself with the story. It's all about the surgeon, and I was just like listening to whatever.
Is there a surgeon here? I need a surgeon. I need a surgeon who loves Amanda. Okay, that just freaked me out. I just had a moment. I had a dream about my grandmother yesterday, and she told me to get it together, and it just said get it together. Here you go.
You have to, so it will have been recorded on the FLIR.
I didn't, that, it was on that. I heard she was
Who are the
clear.
people
My
in the
grandmother
tower?
visits me. I'm just going to tell
I
you.
think you just
What is
turn
your
that
name?
off again. And you gotta keep it horizontal. so
Ask
that-
what her name was. Because
What
it's
is the name of the
very
person
rare.
that just spoke to Melissa?
So you have to keep it this way. Otherwise, when I upload it to YouTube, you're gonna be flipped all over the place.
You're not going to see anything.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
What was the occupation of the person who died in this?
There's tax again.
Tax again. I heard tax again. Yeah. It was taxpayer.
Taxpayer and should.
Was it a local politician, perhaps?
He was a local attorney.
Exactly. Yeah.
Chantel's like, are you done, baby?
That
So
was
we
my-
had surgeon and taxpayer.
Are we
and-
gonna be able to
you
get
done?
wine back at the hotel?
Are we getting wine back at the hotel? This is your 50th birthday, and Dave and I are
What's
having
your
a
name?
blast.
Davis?
I'm going to freak out if it says my grandmother's name. Because it's very rare.
Well, let's keep going this way now. It does not.
Wow. Yeah. Surgeon, lawyer, and attorney. Okay.
And get it together. That was what my grandmother said in my dream.
Cold in this area.
It is, well, I
cold?
think it's because
Yeah,
it's
not
an
so
alley.
right
It's
here.
an alley.
No, but particularly cold right
Well,
here.
the
Okay,
alley.
can I do this with the thermometer?
No, right here.
Okay,
Well, you got the
84,
breeze coming in from
83,
here.
70,
Oh, is that the breeze? Yeah, that's the breeze.
72.
Okay.
But that was a good call, Dave. Nice
Hang on. Let me see your camera for a second. Let me kind of get an assessment of what's going on here. Let me take it.
It is less right here, but I mean, I guess that's
So,
coming from there.
70.
Is it the breeze? I just feel it cold right here.
Well, I had a little chill spot right here
here?
too,
Yeah.
but we're relatively within the same. Now I got
Oh,
you.
no. I don't know. It just felt kind of cold.
70 to 71,
Up my back.
69 right there. But
No. It just felt cold.
well, I get a lot of people's phones that start to act weird down this alley too.
Yeah. Like you said, it probably is the draft coming in through there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any temperature
No
differences.
temperature fluctuations.
I usually get excited about like 8 to 10
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah. No, it just, like as I said, when I walked through here, it just felt cold at my back. Maybe it's just from
60.
the thought of things. 60?
69.
What is your name? What kind of wine should Chantel drink when she gets back to the hotel?
It's gonna just say lots. There you go.
You're
Just said
50.
plenty.
I am never going to see a shadow person.
Nah, yeah, it just was weirdly cold
Why would
up
you
my
want
back.
to see a shadow person? That's
Because I
so
want
spooky.
to. It's not
This is
spooky.
this is Charleston encapsulated right here, isn't it? I mean, this alleyway.
I was saying to Chantel, we've been down a lot of alleys in the many years that we used to roam. in our 20s, and I don't think I've been down this one.
You've never been down Phillip Alley?
If you're
I don't
still here,
think
what is
so.
your name?
One time we were in an alley, and it was 3 o'clock in the
If you'd
morning,
like to come forward, tell me
and
what
we
your
thought it
name
was
is.
just the two of us, and we were linked, and our arms were linked, and a car came, and there was this giant man, like 6'4" behind us,
Yeah, I definitely-
like right up on us. And we couldn't, we didn't see him until the shadow came. We were lucky. Very lucky.
Alright, I'm gonna turn this down so the drum can
Yeah, these are two houses. We gotta kind of keep our voices down too. This is where I start to point out the fingerprints. So you're gonna
God
start
to
to
live
see them
here.
here, but they're gonna be all through here, and then the handprints at the very end. So I'll point that out too. People walk over this every day, and they don't even see it. Yeah, you're not going to get any activity from it. So one of the reasons why we don't go to cemeteries is if you're dead, are you hanging out where you're buried?
Oh, heck
No.
no.
This is, we're walking through a cemetery. We're talking about fires, family, and everything else.
Just wonder why you would stay. Would you be stuck? Or can you go and, what I want to know is, can you come and go?
I don't think we'll ever know that question.
I want to know. Can you just come when you want and
What's the name
to the places that you love, or the places that you had extreme grief? Do you keep going back to that?
You have to think about. Let's just take the examples of the places I took you tonight. Okay, so I took you to somebody's home that they loved, the Pinky Mansion site.
Right,
I took you to Big John's bar,
right.
and his teammates will come through between the Red Barn lot, so that's within vicinity. I just took you to a tragic place.
Yeah.
So again, we're looking at different types of hauntings. We're going to see one last tragic place and tell you why that place is haunted.
Okay.
But again, it's a matter of bless you.
Bless you.
Yeah.
What happened to you,
Yeah.
and where do you want to be? I
Nice.
think we're going to have choices, but that's my personal opinion. Again, I'm the guy without religion.
Yeah,
So
I just wouldn't want to be
an echo's
stuck.
right? I mean,
I wouldn't want to be like in a loop.
energy.
yeah.
Is that hell? A loop?
I don't know that this happened all hell.
No, I don't believe in that either,
I think it's energy.
but I don't want to be stuck doing it like over and over and over. I guess like more like a residual.
Come forward. What is your name?
I think you have the personality that you're going to be haunting
Okay,
these two
so-
for a long, long time.
I just
Well,
said,
Chantel and I will be together
I just
forever.
bought one. for you.
That's all I just
I
said.
said, if you would like to come forward, what is your name? And I heard religion.
I did get Zachary.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm so glad I told the story back here. So this is like the art district. So when they do like their big art tours,
Yeah.
they cut through here. So
Was this here when we were here?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When I was here, I mean, I lived here 24 years ago. So it was a different town.
I'm sure.
There were a lot of just secret little spots and really cool places,
Got the word change it.
You did?
It
Change?
says change it.
Doesn't that,
Changes.
yeah, that's pretty apropos.
So
From what I just said.
no, it goes to this building.
Oh.
They're turning it into a wedding reception area in the front. The back
Well,
of it's condos right now. It has been for quite some time, but the front of it used to be that brewery. It was like a tap room.
It was a South. No.
Was it
Yeah.
South End Brewery?
South End Brewery? Yeah,
We
that's
went to
right.
the opening
three-level
night.
Place, yeah.
We went to opening night at South End Brewery.
So
Remember?
the place is haunted as hell. The guy who used to own this place was George Poirier.
This is it?
Yeah, this is
George
the back
Poirier?
of it. George Poirier. This was a cotton warehouse back in the day.
Oh.
He inherited the business from his dad. He had no clue what he was doing. Silver Spoon kid, clueless, got himself into a bunch of debt, and then he believed it was inheritance from his dead dad. Screwed himself all over. Then we get the boll weevil in town, and now he's got to get rid of the cotton. So the warehouse would have been in the back where we're standing, and then the offices for that would have been in the front, facing East Bay Street. Of course, you could see the water because Pineapple Park wasn't there.
Right.
So, here's what happened. He decided he can't sell his cotton back to the Americans to get out of debt because it's got the boll weevil stuck in it. So he sells it to the British. Watches the British ship roll up. He's watching from the second story building, the second story windows, not the third story like the online stories will tell you. They unload with horse and buggy from back here in these really cool garage doors that you guys see. Take it out to the ship. Somebody gets too close to it with a pipe. The whole ship catches fire and everybody dies. George watches the whole thing. He's already depressed because his father's dead, and now his father's legacy is gone. So what's he do? He piles up all the furniture, puts a captain's chair on the top, climbs the mountain of furniture, swings the noose from the rafters, and hangs himself. There's a newspaper kid that found him the next morning. Came down to sell his papes and saw the shadows of the swinging corpse up there. Ran back to the press to tell him what was going on. Now, they say you could see the shadow of a swinging corpse from the window where he hung himself. We don't have a camera that can see through windows. It can only see glass as blue, and the buildings are orange. Okay, so we're looking for those blue panes of glass to turn darker blue or black, which means something is influencing it from the inside. We get another ghost that tags along. You guys all live here. You all know what Coogan's Porch is.
Oh yeah, I've been there a million
You
times.
all know Coogan's Porch. Now it is 2 blocks up from where we came out of Philadelphia Alley. This would have been during the same time period. So Coogan's Porch wasn't always a restaurant. It used to be Zoe St. Amand that lived there with her sister, Elizabeth. Zoe was a school teacher, an educator. That's what I was also thinking when that word came through. And that was way back over by the Pinckney Mansion site, I believe, wasn't it? So at any rate, Zoe will tell us what colors her house is now, which is yellow with white columns. They say you could see her in the mirror of the ladies' restroom. And Poogan is the dog, and you guys know the story of the dog.
Right.
So the construction crew is the one that fed them, not Zoe. So Zoe's name is Zoe. She is French. So her last name is Saint Amand, and I did a little bit of background check on her, and her genealogy takes her back to the Huguenots that actually helped start Charleston.
Wow.
So she's got some lineage here.
Wow.
So with that being said, same time period as George. I never know what I'm getting here. It's a hit or miss. Sometimes we get stuff on the spirit box. Your EMF's going to be irrelevant when we get to the front because of the parking meters again. So we'll see if anything comes up along the way. Your camera, I definitely want you to get me a quick sweep of the second story windows. You can listen to the spirit box. It's going to get a little rough with the noise up front.
that was good.
You can listen to it along the way. I usually walk pretty slow here because I run my spirit box at the same time. I turn mine up. I just got the word her. Her concern.
Her concern.
Her concern. I don't know what that means yet. So we'll see what actually comes out of it. And then we're going to call this a wrap, so you guys can ask me a million questions as we walk back to get your sweaters. Gabriel. I don't know what it
Oh,
is.
we got a lot of religious stuff
Yeah.
coming through because we're all agnostic.
Yeah, I know
Not
that.
Chantel though. Chantel's, well, my daughter's Chloe, and that's fine. My sweet Clobo.
So you tell me what's going on in the house is that
What was your occupation?
I can't believe this was South End. Where am I?
like? Who's your favorite color?
Do you like cheese?
What's your favorite cheese?
Chantal likes cheese.
You can't walk in the heels. Where does she have them on?
She's making money. I
Let's keep it PG, Melissa. Come on.
Oh my gosh. This was gosh, times have changed, you know?
So, 2 windows right up there. Give me a quick shot. Kind of keep an eye on those for a second or two.
I kind of feel like I see something in one of them. Oh no, I don't.
Can you bring back outside?
Don't fall into the street.
I just broke my ankle not too long ago.
That's not good. Well, I do that, it hurts.
I know, and it's still broken.
Right outside the work garage.
I got the word listen again.
Listen again? Listen, surgeon. Yeah. That was weird.
That little girl
What
up
was
there.
this building used for?
What's going on?
So you know when it was south, what was that, south end or
South End Brewery?
The south end, the taps would turn on, cold spots would kind of occur, shit that they couldn't explain. So that's why they left. Like
Really?
the furniture would move around, which makes sense because George
We
piled up
came
all the
there
furniture.
so much.
Building?
Yeah. And
We
now
were
this is gonna be
opening night.
a wedding reception area. Good luck to them weddings.
Yeah,
Shit's gonna be cursed.
really doomed from the beginning.
And they could, you know, the top of it, they're gonna turn because it's gonna be rooftop as well. So it's gonna be 3 floors plus a rooftop of wedding reception, plus a 10-star restaurant in here. And we
Is it
consider
empty
water
right
park.
now?
It's never done well though. This has
it's always
changed
turned
over
over.
I don't know
Yeah.
how
I know.
many times.
It's always something different.
How long was it South End?
2 years.
That's it?
Southern Brewery? No,
It was
there
not
for a
long.
while. It was no.
It was not there that
It
long.
was there the whole time.
I want to say it was like
here.
2 years. It
It
wasn't
was
long at
not.
all.
It was not long.
Well, you know what? The older I get, the more time kind of slips by. So.
Well, I read to try to remember things.
Yeah.
So
What was the manner of your business here?
yeah, that's going crazy because of the crosswalk.
Yeah.
So all of the electrical lines are underneath us. I can
Right.
take that from you.
I tell you what, tonight,
Thank you very much.
surgeon was like
Yeah.
the. I was like, holy
Mine
shit.
was get it together because
It was like, well,
last night I had the dream of my grandmother
listen,
telling me to
surgeon.
get it together. So I'm going to
surgeon
take
is-
that, okay?
because that's like.
Maybe I heard it wrong, but I would
Not
prefer that I
necessarily.
did
We're
it.
gonna find out because you had this with you. Oh yeah, you
Oh,
could.
do you
talk.
want- okay.
Yeah, I want to shut it off there.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
And
You're
then
good.
you'll get, you
No,
have
because
one
I had
track
completely
view,
shut
right?
off my brain from.
But I won't hear what you heard because you were far away from it.
Okay.